All right, so when we're looking at the glute med kickback, the first thing we want to do is line up the cable at around knee height here. That's going to be the spot that we want to line this cable up with. And so once you have that set up, you're going to want to attach the carabiner to the inside clip of your ankle straps. Now, these are the ones that I have up on the equipment list. They have an inside ankle carabiner clip for this exact reason. If you don't, if the ones that you have only have a front side clip, you can go ahead and attach them there. But for this exercise, it would be better if you had the ones on the inside of your leg, and you go ahead and attach them there. Now, before we get into the movement, I just want to explain what working the glute med even means. If this line was you kicking your leg straight back, and this green line was you kicking your leg straight out to the side, then the glute med is going to be something like kicking in this direction. Something like a 30 to 45 degree angle in between kicking straight back and straight out to the side. If you guys have done a glute max kickback in the program before, glute max probably runs a little bit more of like a 10 degree angle here. And so we are this red line, this red arrow here. And so if we look at what I'm going to do here is I take a big diagonal step away from the machine towards the working side leg, because what that's going to do, it's going to allow my leg to now naturally get dragged across the midline of my body, and that is what we want. And as you can see, I'm kicking back on something like a 30 degree angle. That's going to be best for the glute medius, which is the goal for this exercise here. Now, if you have a rack like this, where you're the only one using it, or you're in your house and you want to see if grabbing both sides of the cable rack allows you to have greater stability, you're very welcome to try that. Personally, I like this. It does give me a ton of stability, but it won't work for everyone. Not everyone is the right height for this. It depends how long your arms are. It depends how close your cable stack is together. So it might be worth a try to see if you get a ton of stability out of this movement. By holding on with both arms, this leg will have to do a little bit less work to stabilize, which is nice because we are really working the right leg primarily. Again, not a must, but something that is maybe worth trying. Now, if you find that adding a plate under this back leg, and we'll fast forward this here, adding a plate under this planted leg helps you kind of swing that leg across without needing to kind of navigate away from the floor a little bit better, that's awesome. I find that it actually does help. And so if you can snag something that's even just like 1 inch off the ground that can allow you to elevate yourself so that you can swing that leg without hitting the floor, it can be pretty helpful. But it's totally not necessary, and if it's a hassle, then don't worry about it too much. From a technique standpoint, just remember that your goal is to stop when your glute is fully contracted or shortened. Your goal is to not kick your leg back as far as humanly possible. And so what I want you to look at is this short position here in a second when I get there, any day now, is this position here. I'm not hyperextending at my low back here. I don't have this big arch in my back. If you put a gun to my head and say, Jordan, get your leg higher, I can. What will happen is I'll lean forward more and I will extend or arch in my lower back more, right? And I'll get my leg higher. But the point is not to get your leg as high as humanly possible. The goal is to shorten the glute. And so for the most part, what's happening from the waist up, if you just look at that box, for the most part, nothing's moving in that box. I don't want to be arching my back. I don't want to be leaning forward and back during the movement. I just want my leg to be kicking back and my glute med to be working. I don't want it to be a big, like, full body movement here. This is a very isolation exercise, and so don't bring a lot of body English into this. If you catch yourself arching and leaning and swinging, then maybe it's time to lower the weight in search for a little bit better stability, a little bit better control.